Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Tonight, I have a story that will make you think twice before taking a late night ride. A journey where the passenger next to you might not be alive. It was past midnight when Emma and Liam boarded the last train. The carriage was eerily still. At the next stop, a man got on, his face hidden under a hat. As minutes passed, Emma noticed something strange. The man's reflection in the window didn't match his movements. While he sat perfectly still, his reflection, it smiled. A crooked, hollow grin. The man removed his hat, revealing a pale, sunken face. His lips moved with a silent, chilling warning. "You shouldn't be here." Emma grabbed Liam, but his eyes were vacant. Desperate, she ran through the train, but every door led to the same endless corridor. She turned back, the man was gone. A faint whisper followed. "The last stop is not for the living." Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Tonight, I have a story that will make you think twice before ever taking a late night ride. It's a journey where the passenger sitting right next to you might not be alive, so dim the lights, settle in, and get ready for a trip into the unknown. It was well past midnight when Emma and her husband, Liam, boarded the very last train, leaving a sleepy, forgotten town. The platform was almost completely empty, and the station lights flickered weakly, casting these long, trembling shadows that seemed to dance on their own. The train itself was old, its metal frame groaning under the weight of its history, as if it carried more than just people. They found a quiet compartment and settled in. The seats were worn and stained, silent witnesses to years of traveler stories. As the train lurched forward, the world outside blurred into an inky, impenetrable darkness, and an eerie stillness fell over the carriage, broken only by the rhythmic rattle of the wheels on the track. At the next stop, the doors hissed open and a single man got on. He wore a long, dark coat, and his face was completely hidden under the wide brim of a hat. His presence was immediately unsettling. No one else was boarding, and as he stepped into their compartment, a sudden chill filled the air, even though the windows showed no frost. He didn't speak, didn't even glance at Emma or Liam. He just sat directly across from them, his posture rigid, staring intently at his own reflection in the dark window. Minutes stretched into an uncomfortable eternity. Then, slowly, Emma noticed something was horribly wrong. The man's reflection in the glass didn't match his movements. While he remained perfectly still, a stone statue in the dim light, his reflection, it smiled. It was a crooked, hollow grin that seemed far too wide, too unnatural to be human. Emma's heart started to pound. She nudged Liam, whispering his name, trying to get his attention, but he seemed completely distracted, just staring out the other window as if he was seeing something far, far away. Just then, the lights in the carriage flickered violently, and the train's faint, mechanical creaking seemed to morph into a low, eerie whisper like hundreds of faint voices murmuring just beyond the edge of her hearing. Summoning her courage, Emma looked back at the man. He slowly removed his hat, revealing a pale, sunken face with eyes as black and empty as coal pits. His lips began to move, but no sound came out. Instead, Emma felt the words inside her own mind, a chilling, silent warning that echoed through her skull. "You shouldn't be here." A wave of pure panic surged through her. She grabbed Liam's arm, shaking him hard this time, but his eyes remained vacant, unfocused. The train seemed to be speeding up, stretching into an endless, impossible journey. The familiar route was gone. They were passing stations she had never seen before, with names that weren't on any map. Outside, the trees twisted into grotesque, unnatural shapes, and a thick, soupy fog pressed against the windows, swirling and moving as if it were alive. Desperate, Emma scrambled out of her seat and threw open the compartment door. The corridor was empty, but with each step she took, the train's interior seemed to change around her. The walls grew darker, the floorboards warped beneath her feet, and shadows crawled along the ceiling like living things. She risked a glance back into their compartment. The man was gone, but his chilling whisper followed her down the hall. The last stop is not for the living. She and Liam ran, or at least she thought he was running with her. They searched frantically for a conductor, for any sign of help, but every door they opened led to the same endless corridor, and every window revealed the same shifting, fog-choked forest. And then she saw them, other passengers. Dozens of them, all with the same pale, hollow-eyed stares, their mouths open in silent, eternal screams. Their bodies were frozen, yet somehow they were all moving forward, trapped on this nightmarish, endless ride. Emma screamed for Liam, but he didn't answer. She turned and looked at his reflection in the window beside them, and her blood ran cold. His reflection no longer matched his face. Instead, it grinned with that same hollow, predatory smile the strange man had worn. And in a flash of sickening realization, she knew Liam was gone. He had been replaced by a pale shadow, another silent passenger trapped forever on this ghost train. At that moment, the train screeched to a violent halt in a station that shouldn't exist. A thick, suffocating fog swallowed everything in sight. Emma tried to run, to escape, but the ghostly shadows of the other passengers surrounded her. She felt cold, spectral hands grab her, pulling her toward the open doors, but outside there was only darkness, a void. The last thing she heard before being dragged away into nothingness was that same dreadful whisper. All passengers must reach the last stop. Eventually, weeks later, the morning newspaper ran a small, strange story. An old, abandoned train had been found, its windows shattered, sitting on tracks that led into a dense, overgrown part of the forest, and then just stopped. No one had seen it arrive, and no one had gotten off. But sometimes, when the fog rolls in at midnight, locals in that area claim to see faint lights moving inside the derelict carriages. And if you listen closely, they say you can hear the faint, distant sound of a train, still carrying the souls who took that last journey and never returned. This train, you see, it doesn't appear on any map, and it certainly doesn't run on any schedule. So if you ever find yourself on a late night ride on a train that feels just a little too quiet, a little too cold, remember this story, because some passengers are already dead and some stops are never ever meant to be reached. Thank you so much for watching. If this story sent a shiver down your spine, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the shadows. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.